ahead and hit record. And today's date is July 28th. So everyone else, I am going to mute you guys out. This way there is, no background noise. And then Sharon, I am going to unmute you. Okay, so some of you guys already met Sharon. So I have to say I am so grateful and blessed that Sharon jumped on our call tonight. I met Sharon, I think it's almost a year and a half ago when I was doing a training with Team Rockstar Fit. I was doing what they call 3.0, and we'll talk about that later. But I know I shared a lot with you guys that there was a turning point in my business and I couldn't hit Success Club. And remember how I told you it was all like mindset, and that's what I was generating out to other people, was that it was too expensive and they wouldn't buy a challenge pack. And Sharon was that person that was like, that is the vibe you're putting out to people. They'll never buy a challenge pack from you. And I went from changing my mindset to barely getting 3 or 4 points to getting 15 points or more consistently for 3 or 4 months straight. So guys, get your paper and pen ready, because Sharon is just thebomb.com, because she's got amazing information. She is so sweet. She is so genuine. She is from Texas, a 4-star diamond coach. She's a former trainer, but now she is Beachbody full-time, and I'll let her take it away. And we're going to dive in today about how to tell your story, because we're all so new at this, and it's really important of how we share it on social media, and Sharon just rocks at it. So all of you, Sharon, I'm going to mute myself out.
Thank you so much, Kira. And just listening to that, I hope I didn't say it like that, but belief is a huge part of it. I mean, if you don't believe in what you have to offer people, and don't believe in your ability as a coach to change lives, nobody else is going to buy it either. I mean, you have got to believe that. If you're kind of, struggling with, Shakeology is so expensive, and challenge pack, people don't want that. Those kind of things, people pick up on that. They really do. So you've got to work through those issues. If you're feeling that way, read success stories. Go look at the transformation stories from Summit. Did any of you guys go to Summit? Show of hands. Awesome. Okay, great. And all the videos are back there, or some of them are bootlegged on YouTube, but I saw Janelle Summers today. I posted that from my team. But if you need that belief, if you're brand new and you're like, I got results, but I don't really know if this really is going to work. I don't get this. Really tap into the stories of other people. Share Kira's stories, share people that little bit ahead of you in the business, and just share those stories and just tap into those, because you have to believe that. You have to have confidence, because this absolutely changes lives, and you have to believe that. So that's the main thing, which goes into the main point of being a coach, is working harder on yourself than anything else. I mean, you've got to work harder on yourself than anything you do in this business. For me personally, I spend an hour every morning doing personal development, probably more than that. I mean, I definitely spend an hour, but I'm constantly, something good is going in my head. If I'm on a walk, or if I'm folding laundry, or if I'm in the car, or wherever, even if it's 10 minutes to the grocery store, I'm listening to something. You have to incorporate that. That's a piece you cannot leave out. A lot of people leave that out because they're like, and I actually made a post today, because I was out walking this morning, listening to a call, and I just took a picture. I was actually playing around with one of my coaches. We were texting each other pictures, and I took a picture and had my headphones in, and I thought, well, that's a good post, because I literally am listening to personal development. And so I created a post about how I used to think personal development was hokey and stupid, and, not, and it actually got a lot of comments and people, reacting to it, because I think a lot of people miss that piece. But just to give you guys a little bit of background on where I came from, I'm probably one of the, I'd like to say I have a lot of wisdom in this business. I'm 51 years old. I actually started this business when I was 47, okay? I wish I was as young as some of you guys starting out, because you just, oh my gosh, it's going to change your life. But Trina Gray, who you guys know, and Vito and Ashley Mahaffey, those guys, we were all in a mastermind group together with a guy named Todd Durkin, who was like, I would say my first mentor. This was way before Beachbody. We were all fitness owners. We all had studios or worked at a gym or something like that, or some of the people ran boot camps. But we were all in this mastermind group just to support each other through owning a business and, just the fitness industry and things like that. And I actually met those guys before Beachbody. And that was the first time I'd ever met anybody that was like really positive and inspiring. I mean, I just didn't really have that in my life. And a lot of people don't. But I had gotten really heavy staying home with my kids. At the age of 36, decided I was going to make a change after, stumbling through a lot of different, losing weight, gaining it back, all that. I had been like on this vicious cycle for years. And finally, it literally was a light bulb moment for me at the age of 36. I thought, I don't want to be like this anymore. And I really didn't have a plan, but I just started, working out and just, looking back, I got around people that were healthier and just changed my environment. It wasn't even something that I was realizing I was doing. I was just drawn to that. From that, I ended up becoming a personal trainer only because at that point in my life, I was 40 years old at this point, and I'd lost about 50 pounds. And my son, who was my youngest, was about to go to kindergarten. And I didn't want to go back to work. I never liked working for somebody. I hated it. I was a terrible employee. I never liked people telling me when I can come in, when I can go to lunch, when I can take vacation. I just never liked that. And so I decided, because I had gotten so inspired and people were always telling me, you should be a trainer, you should be a trainer. And so I was looking at, I got to go back to work. I might as well train. And I thought, I'm going to make all this money. This is awesome. I'll be a personal trainer. Ended up owning my own studio for a while and really realized what it's like to have that brick and mortar facility. And, it was a headache. And I had signed up as a coach because Trina had signed up. That's actually where I'd met all those guys, like I said, in that mastermind. Well, she signed up because she knew Janelle Summers and they were slowly kind of rolling out the whole coaching network. And I remember she sent me a webinar and she's like, you got to take a look at this. And, I thought the world of her, but I was busy. I had my gym, my kids were young, I was like, I'll get to it. And I actually didn't watch that webinar for probably 2 months. And then she would email me, hey, what's up? You should watch that, just like checking in with me. So I finally did. I didn't even watch it all the way through. I think it was Christine Dwyer's webinar. And, I love Trina. So I was like, okay, I'll sign up. And she said, you got to get to Emerald. So I signed up. My daughter at the time was 18 and signed up my husband. I'm like, your coaches. Then I sat on the business for 1.5 years, did nothing. Owned my studio, was still working through all that stuff. And there came a point in my life, like I said, when I was 47 years old, and my daughter, it was her senior year in high school. And I just realized I didn't want to do what I was doing anymore. I felt like I was missing out. I felt like, I never earned any money. I worked like crazy, but just the overhead of owning a business like that and employing trainers, and you have to be there and you're locked into it. I loved being able to inspire other busy moms to lose weight just like I had done. That has been my passion. That's why I always got into fitness in the first place. But I just decided, I kind of, researched Beachbody a little bit, and I was listening to Trina and kind of what she was doing. And I thought, I'm just going to give this a shot. I'm just going to, go for it. And so I started the business in January 2012 because I told my husband, I'm going to go for it. I'm just going to go for it. And he's like, all right. And he goes, it looks legit. He's a financial advisor. And he's like, it looks legit. You just got to work it. And I just literally dove in. I got out of my lease at my studio and I just dove in. And it's been a lot of work. It's been amazing though. And what I realized for me personally is the framework of this type of business. We are in network marketing. The framework of it just fits me because, like I said, I never like to work for somebody else. And I didn't really like owning my own business and all that overhead. I didn't like that aloneness, which is why I joined that mastermind group so I could have that support. Well, I've been able to find all of that in Beachbody. I still can inspire people, work on my own fitness, and have that team of support, but still own my own business and lead my own team. So it's, for me personally, and hopefully for you guys, you can see that this is just an amazing framework to have, to create wealth, to change lives. And it's just incredible. And to talk a little bit about story, no, that was kind of the focus. I just wanted to give you a little background on mine. The power of your story is what will drive your business. Okay. And it may take you a while to dig into that. I know for me it did, because I'll tell you, I'll be honest, when I started this, I had in the back of my mind, like, okay, I'm going to do this, but I am a trainer. So I need to just do this like as a trainer. So I really tried to be the expert. I almost took like my training knowledge and skills into the virtual world, into online, into the challenge group. Challenge groups had just come out. Challenge packs had just been released. Success Club was just starting. And I really ended up, I grew fast because I had, good following locally, but those people never saw where they could do what I was doing because they saw me as a trainer. There was this gap. And I was looking back now, I perpetuated that a little bit just because I had that trainer mindset. And if you ever talk to trainers about Beachbody, a lot of them are kind of standoffish, and at first they just don't know how to take it all in. And I'm not insulting, if any of you guys are trainers, I'm not insulting you, because I was right there. I was like, what, I'm going to sell shakes? And it's like, so I tried to just do it where I was almost taking the workouts that I would write in my studio and just using the Beachbody products. And so, but I was still trying to be the expert in the nutrition and all that kind of stuff. Once I got over myself and realized I just was a busy mom who loved fitness, loved being around inspiring people, loved sharing my story, and I got real. I mean, really, it was a process, but I just got real. And I was like, I used to be overweight. Sometimes I still fall off the wagon a little bit, never with my workouts. I always work out, but diet goes up and down sometimes, a little extra glass of wine here and there, lots of travel. Once I started being real about that, my business changed. I share what I'm doing, which I do the programs. I'm a geek for Beachbody. If I could tattoo it on me, I would, because it's changed my life. But you really have to share kind of warts and all, but slowly you drip it out there. One thing I noticed recently, my team is a lot of women who we all, maybe when we were younger, had this drive, this leadership quality that we were almost told in school, be quiet, sit down, don't be mean, don't be bossy. People don't know you're joking, be seen and not heard. And it's just funny because that's something that I've struggled with my whole life. And I realized that my team, my leaders, my diamonds especially, they all come from that same kind of place. And so, when they talk about your target market and who are you talking to, you have to really think about that. And that just hit me recently because a lot of my diamonds and my coaches that run the business were from the fitness industry, but some are not. But they all have that same quality. They all have this drive in them that was kind of buried maybe when they were staying home with kids, or, a teacher or a parent kind of just, they dumb themselves down for people. So that's sort of my niche. And I don't even know what you call that, but I tend to attract that kind of person because I am that kind of person. So when you're sharing and when you're posting on social media, you want to kind of drip those things out that are you. So you're talking to the person that is you maybe 3 steps ago, if that makes sense, where you were when you started this. So if you struggle with, well, I don't have a transformation with Beachbody. There's different things that people worry about when they start this. But something brought you to this business, okay? And so you got to think about what that is. Now, for me personally, at that point in my life, I wanted a business. I wanted to earn money. I wanted to get out of debt. I wanted to contribute to the household in a monetary way because I'd been a stay-at-home mom forever. And then I, gotten a lot of debt in my business. So for me personally, it was, I came in for the business and fell in love with the products. But some of you may come in from the products, and you're probably going to attract those kind of people that where you were when you started this. Does that kind of make sense? You guys following me? I know Kira probably shared this with you. Did you share a little bit about at Summit? Did you go to that training where they talked about sharing your story?
We didn't share that part just yet. There was so much information. So we kind of gave them a little bit of an overview, and what we decided, because Michal came with me, we decided as leading the team, we took 2 steps back to take leaps and bounds forward. So we had everyone on the team share with us their why, because we tend to get lost in that, yes. Their fitness goals and what their professional goals were. So we had meetings within our downline. So the next step is to share creating your story, but you had touched on personal development, and that was one of the big weaknesses across the board for our team. So for the month of August, well, we started yesterday actually, we're reading The Slight Edge together, and we're going to share kind of our, input and takeaways, etc., to kind of get the team moving forward. So next week we'll be sharing that part about creating your story.
That's great. That's great. And that's an excellent book. That is such a good book. I recommend that to people who are new to personal development, either that or The Compound Effect. I think the first book I ever read was Eat That Frog. In fact, I have this idea to do a post where I've got the different Beachbody programs that I've done interspersed with the books that I've read while I was going along. That occurred to me the other day. I haven't put that together, but that's been so important. Just peeling back the layers. But that's an excellent book. I highly recommend that. And if you can just do 10 minutes a day, you won't even, it's like your fitness. You're not going to see the results right away, but over time something's going to just sit with you, or, it's going to help you with a post. Something that you want to put on social media is probably something that you got from your personal development that day, or you're going to handle a situation with your spouse or your kids differently because you're going to just be able to take a step back. And it's that cumulative effect. I think it was Zig Ziglar who said personal development is like a shower. It's like taking a shower. You've got to do it every day. Now, I kind of bumbled his quote, but that's basically what he's talking about. You can't just do it once. And it's the same with your fitness. You can't just do it all at once. But I did attend that training at Summit. And, I'm a 4-star diamond in this business. I've been in this forever, and I still sit and take notes. And I'm like a geek for these coaches that are like top coaches. I'm just like, I'm going to learn from them, because I'm the kind of person that if I see someone did something like that, like Melanie Mitro or somebody, I Facebook stalk her. I stalk her because she resonates with me and I love her style. And I look at her like, if she did it, I can do it. Now, some coaches will be like, oh, I can't do that. She's way far ahead of me. I can't. You got to switch that. If you're one of those people that thinks like that, that comes with personal growth. It's like comparing yourself to others so that you can see what's possible for you. Because if someone in this business has done it, you can do it. You can absolutely do it. We all have the same tools. Every single beginning of the month, we all start at 0 Success Club points every month. August 1st, everybody's at 0, even, the top coaches. So you can look at that and say, I can do that. I just need to find my own way. But if you find someone who's sharing on social media that resonates with you, stalk them, but don't copy and paste their stuff, but check in, just go, I wonder what she put, and then you can sometimes see a post and it'll resonate with you because maybe you're that coach's target market as well, but you put it in your own words, or you relate it to your life, or it's got some kind of meaning for you. You never want to try to be somebody, so don't misunderstand me. What I'm saying is, if you see someone who you like their style and you're just like, wow, I can, that kind of relates to me. I would say it like this, put a picture of yourself or a picture, something that relates to you, and share along those same lines, but in your own voice. One story that really hit me was a coach named Leslie Cordes. I don't know if you've heard of her. I met her actually in Dallas probably, gosh, it was probably 3 years ago. And she was like barely diamond, maybe 1 star. Well, now she's, I don't know, 12, 15, 14 star, whatever. And she was one of the speakers at this share Power of Your Story. And I've got my notes right here, so make sure I don't miss anything. But she shared, it was interesting because when I met her, she wasn't as approachable as she is now. And so I could tell over the last 3 years, she's grown a lot. And she said that she struggles with overeating and binge eating and things like that. And that's something that she's hidden. Like she didn't let that out. She was trying to be this perfect, not perfect, but not sharing that. Like, I'm a coach, I can't share that. Well, I think it was started to come to a head for her when what she shared with us in this training. And she said that a couple months ago, I guess it was, she decided she was going to do a free group for binge eating, for women who, binge eat and they hide it. And she said, my heart was racing and I created this group and I was just like sweating, and I put it out there late at night. I said, free group for whatever she called it, binge eating, click here to join. We're going to work through this. It's like a 5-day group or something. She said, I posted it. I was shaking and I just went to bed. She posted it and like shut her computer and went to bed. Well, she woke up the next morning and she had 248 women asked to join that group. And so we were like, we all got chills, because she said, that's when I knew that my mess was my message, which I love that. Your mess is your message. She's like, this is something I've been hiding, instead of realizing that I could help somebody else if I just let that out there. Because if you're struggling with something, somebody else is too. Now, again, you have to feel comfortable with that. And this was a process for her. Like, it didn't just happen overnight, but it was probably a little voice all the time telling her, you should share that. You should share that. And again, when you're piecemealing your story out there, whatever it is, don't think about the people who might say the negative comments. Don't think about those energy vampires. You're not talking to them. A lot of my coaches are like, my aunt's going to say this, or my sister-in-law, blah, blah, is going to unfriend me. I'm like, good, that's okay. You can just see that person at family gatherings, but you're not talking to her, and so you really have to think about that person. And it's just think of one person that you're talking to. And again, it could be you 3 steps ago. But one person. And when you craft your posts, you want to think, is this relatable? Am I being authentic? Is this going to help somebody? Is there a message in here that's going to help somebody? And this isn't every single post. It's not, like you're just spilling your guts in every post, but you're going to just slowly drip that out there. And you can see some other people that are doing that and kind of how they're getting their message out there, sharing something that they've been struggling with, but then they turn it around to where they are now. So that's kind of the framework, the outline that you use when you're crafting your story. And when you guys share that with each other, it's like, when did this happen? You start with when, meaning 8 years ago. For me, 16 years ago, I was, burned out, overweight, negative. I was just a horrible person back then, so I could start my weight loss journey story like that. I could start my Beachbody story that I was a burned out trainer. I was overworked. I was not seeing my kids. I can start. That's when that happened. And then what it was, so it's when, what, and then how it's changed. So that's really just the structure of what you're trying to share. And if you guys, has anybody heard Bo Eason at all? Anybody get on that call with him? Did you hear him? He talks about sharing a story, and he's a little frenetic, but I like him. But he comes out and he goes, when I was 9 years old, and he just starts telling the story about how he wanted to be the best safety in football. And he starts his story every single time, because I've seen him a couple times, and when I was 9 years old. And the thing is, when he starts like that, you're not thinking about him. You're thinking about when you were 9 years old, So when someone starts telling their story, they're not thinking about you, they're thinking about themselves. So you have to remember that. That's that piece where, how is this going to help somebody? And putting yourself out there so that you can help that one person who's ready for that message, not the other people who are going to be negative and all that. So don't picture those people. Don't even worry about it. If people unfriend you, see you later. That happens to me all the time. Don't worry about it. You go to somebody's page to check on them and they've unfriended you. You're like, all right, that's cool. Okay, my message isn't for you. So don't let that get in the way. You're really talking to the people that you can help, because think about where you were and where you are now, and think about those people. So that's a huge part. Let me make sure I hit on everything. Oh yeah, she did share also that when you are sharing your story, it starts with that one main point, okay? And it could be a financial thing, especially when you're sharing something about how Beachbody's helped you. Financial, was it physical, or was it emotional? Like, have you ever struggled in this area? Think about those kind of things. Struggled with self-confidence, struggled with diet and exercise, struggled with debt, finances, things like that. So you can get those things out there. Does that kind of help you guys? Do you understand? Does anybody have any questions?
Sharon, can you touch on a little bit on, because not all the ladies follow you just yet. You're going to get like a ton of friend requests after this. But so can you share a little bit on like your strategy approach? Because like you have your times where you share your story, and even if it's your weight loss, but then you're also sharing you being as a mom. Like I felt like even though Tristan is 2 years old and he doesn't play baseball just yet, like I felt like a baseball mom on the team of your son. And it was like, you kind of brought along this extra layer of a journey of balancing being a mom, but yet, making sure you're cooking up a nice meal for your family, but you overall just showed having fun with it. So can you touch a little bit, like what's your strategy behind that? Because it's definitely addicting to follow. And not that I'm talking you, but it's there.
Yeah, no, she's referring to, actually my son he just graduated high school, and he's got a scholarship to play baseball in college, and hopefully will be drafted. He opted out of the draft because he wanted to go to college. He didn't want to go straight to the major leagues. And part of the reason I did this business was, like I said, for my kids. My daughter was going off to school. She was a senior. And my son was playing competitive baseball, and I would not have been able to travel with him. I mean, every summer was Arizona, Florida, North Carolina, Atlanta. I mean, constantly traveling to these select teams, and he was being invited to play with these, top-notch teams and being scouted and all that. I wouldn't have been able to do that if I didn't have Beachbody. And that was another part of wanting to have a business that I could do from anywhere. And it's funny when you say strategy, Kira, I don't know that I ever really had a strategy. I just, they say, make it your reality show, make your Facebook page your reality show. I just share what we're doing. And generally in the mornings, I always do my personal development in the morning. And my first post of the day is usually a motivational post. It's something that I either read or I had a conversation with somebody, and, something about that conversation is a lesson that I want to give to people. Things, quotes, pictures of myself working out with a quote on it. That generally, I'm a geek for some of these apps. My kids make fun of me like crazy, but I love that. So someone can see a picture of you with a quote, or, if you didn't feel like working out that morning, but you did, so you share that, like, oh, I wasn't feeling it today, but I did this work, I did it. And then you're going to inspire somebody with that. Food is always a struggle for all of us. I'm always posting pictures of food. My husband's an excellent cook. I'm sort of like the lazy cook. Like I'll just have boiled chicken just because I'm too lazy to do anything else with it. But it's so funny when you post what you're eating, and if you found a great recipe or something that takes something unhealthy and make it healthy, people love that. And yeah, I just share what we're doing, traveling and things like that. In fact, I leave tomorrow morning. My daughter graduated college and now she got a job out in San Francisco. So we are flying out there tomorrow. She got an apartment. We're going to go kind of put everything together. So I'll be posting about that. I really just post what I'm doing. And for me, because I'm old and set in my ways, I keep the same schedule. You know, I'm going to be doing my personal development. I'm going to be doing probably PIO on demand, and sharing those kind of things. So the structure for me is just the morning motivation, because that's where my head's at in the morning. Because a lot of people, you know, they're going off to work or they're trying to get through their day. And I just feel like, you know, I wake up so excited to do this. And I feel like I just have been blessed with this amazing opportunity that you all have. And I just want to share that with people. So that's just authentic. I shoot a lot of videos. I've just got on Periscope. That's like the geekiest thing in the world. Love that. And, you know, just sharing those kind of things. I think that you kind of get a rhythm for what you're doing, and you'll see the different posts that resonate with people, and you can slowly find your avatar, your target market based on that. You know, if you're deciding between a pair of shoes, like you're going to buy some new sneakers, or you're trying to decide, you've probably seen these posts where people are like, this one or this one, you know, those kind of things. People want to answer. People want to help you. So if you put out something like that, one or two, you know, and have a picture of two different shoes, people are just going to blow up your page answering that question. I remember one time I did a post, would you rather have a personal trainer or a personal chef? And that thing blew up. It was crazy. People just wanted to answer that. You know, it's like they're scrolling through their newsfeed and they're like, oh, you know, they just dying to answer if you give them yes or no, something like that. But I think it just takes getting a little uncomfortable. And what I told my coaches today, actually our team for the Team Cup, we had a Zoom, and a couple of the coaches on my team are new, but they really want this business. They see it. They went to Summit. They get it. They're like, okay, I want to do this. But there's that little hump of social media or getting yourself out there. Or what do I say when someone asks what I do? So I challenged them. I said, get uncomfortable this whole week before Team Cup starts. Put something out there that you're like, oh, my aunt from, you know, Illinois is going to freak out when she sees this. That's the one you want to put out there. You know, when your heart is racing, but you know in your gut, this is something that's going to help people. There's so many posts like that I put out, and I'm just like, oh, and I hit post and I'm like, okay, it's good. And those are usually the ones that people just, you know, you get messages from, and they're like, oh my God, I needed to see that today. And that's the stuff you need to put out there. And the more you do that, it's like, you know, that fear you have of, maybe it's a fear of heights or something like that. You just go to that edge and get over it, you know, just like get over it. Because think about, how would you feel if you didn't have that fear? You know, where would you be? What would you do? What would your business look like? And most of the time it's like, oh, I feel amazing. Like, I feel like I could help so many more people if I could just get past this. Do it. Just do it, you know, because it's going to help somebody. And the thing is with Facebook, it's going to go away. It's not going to just be sitting out there because you're going to post more. It's going to fall down. Okay. And then you can bring it back up later on. You maybe craft it in a different way, or you take that picture and you make it black and white and you put a different quote on it or something. And it's still that same message you're trying to get out there, but it's just in a different way. And you've grown that much in a month from doing that. I do put out my before and after picture probably every 3 weeks or so, because I make new connections and people don't know. People don't know where I was. And for me, it's not so much the weight loss now as it is the person I was versus who I am now. When I see that picture, I put it up, I think it was it was Monday. It's a picture of me when I was 36 years old, and I'm holding my son who's 19 now. And I put a picture of me now. You know, I usually just take a recent picture. That's really the only before picture I have, because I hid from the cameras. I hid behind my kids for years. So there's really no picture. So that's always kind of my before picture. And I put it out because the new connections, new people I meet, they're like, oh my God, I had no idea. And I say, yeah. And that, I even did a post one time of what I used to think back then versus what I think now. And I just put the words underneath there. So that just kind of shares, this is where I was, this is where I am. It's that same thing. And it's just a matter of getting yourself out there and kind of sweating a little bit, have your heart racing, and just do it. Just do it, because those are the people you want to talk to. We want to weed out all the negative people. You're still going to have those people, but you're going to get so much more from helping the ones that really want to hear your message. So that's really all I have. I'd love to answer any questions, or if you guys have anything you're struggling with posting, or how to talk about the business, things like that, I'd love to answer those.
Anyone have any questions? And I'll just come say hi to Sharon. You haven't said hi to her in a long, long time.
Oh my
Come
gosh.
say hi to Sharon.
Oh my gosh, she's gotten so big.
Say hi to the team. Say hi, team. Hi, team.
So I have a question. I think I kind of got over the whole physical transformation posting. I post my picture, like you said, like almost every 3 weeks. And the emotional part I've kind of touched on actually today, but the financial aspect, it's so hard to talk about money. And I just had not a clue how to bring that up. So do you have any kind of...
Well, it doesn't have to be, it depends on what your story is with the finance, financially with Beachbody. Is that what you mean? Like,
yeah. So I know that I have, obviously I don't want coaches that sign up just for the money, because then that's not a good coach. They have to want to do this. But I know that I have friends out there who could they can benefit by this like tremendously. And I want to let them know that. But how do you bring that up without saying I'm doing this for the money? Well,
I think what you would do is, maybe it's sort of a lifestyle post, and maybe you have to craft it, drip it out there little ways. But, if you've been able to pay for, say, gymnastics or something for one of your kids, or you've been able to buy a new home, or you've been able to make your car payment, that's relatable, things like that. One of my diamond coaches, when she started, it was just that she could afford preschool for her daughter. And now they just bought a new car, and her business has just blown up over the last 3 years. But initially that was it. Like they could afford to go to the grocery store whenever she wanted to, before her husband's like, don't go this week, So I think you can drip it out that way. And maybe, whatever it has been for you, whatever amount of money, whatever the little things are that you've been able to do, just put it out there, like in a way you would tell somebody, and not that you would do this, but not like, look at me, I make all this money, Right. I know you wouldn't do it like that. I think it's more of that lifestyle post. It's, I've seen coaches do it where they've got like maybe a glass of wine or a cup of tea in the morning, and they just have their feet up on their back porch, things like that. Or a picture you and your kids, if it was something you were able to afford for them that you wouldn't have been able to afford without Beachbody.
Right.
Things like that. Does that kind of help?
Yeah, that's helpful. Thank you.
Yeah. And one little hint for all you guys when you're posting is, take a bunch of pictures all the time and just have them on your phone, because you never know when you're going to use one. And if there's just something great, like I took a picture in my neighborhood, I walk every morning, and there's just one part I just love. And so I stopped and took a picture today, and I don't know if I'm going to use that, but I have it. It may just fit something that I'm thinking about that day. So always and that's why I always take pictures of food wherever I am. If I order something that looks pretty, I take a picture. You never know when you're going to use that.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
So you were saying before that you like to post, like you'll take a picture of yourself and then put a quote on it. So I always see that, but I can't figure out what app it is that people use. So what app is your favorite app?
My favorite app, I have two actually that I run my pictures through. WordSwag is my favorite. it's it's on I have an iPhone. I think it's on Android too. And it will you have to play around with it, but you upload the picture and there's different fonts, and you usually get to pick, like, say one font is maybe a thick, versus one that's cursive or whatever. And they usually have 5 choices, and you can also roll the dice at the bottom. So it just it's almost like it spins and changes, and you can size it. I love that app. That's my favorite one, WordSwag.
Thank you.
And then another one I heard about recently that Charlotte Farreau told me about is InstaBeauty. And that's my favorite. And I usually run all my pictures. My daughter hates it because there's a picture of us recently, and she's like, "Mom, you look plastic." And I'm like, "But I don't have any wrinkles," And it's InstaBeauty. It's like a filter, and it immediately just makes the picture pretty. And I love it. But a lot of people are like, "Oh, seriously, that's crazy," but it's fun. And I like my pictures to be square, so that's why I like WordSwag, because they come out square. Because sometimes if you just upload a picture you took on your phone on Facebook, it looks kind of lopsided. And for me, I just like them to be square, which is kind of silly because most people are looking through their news feed anyway, so they're going to come up like that. But that's just a little geeky thing I have.
Thank you.
Absolutely. One other one I'm thinking of, it's called A Beautiful Mess. That's a good one. A lot of people use that one.
I know what's going to happen this next week. The team's going to blow up with these like awesome fancy schmancy pictures, and I'm so excited for this. I'm going to be hitting like all day long.
They're good. They're good. Yeah, I know we're getting close on time, but I wanted to screen share a couple of posts like that I think might help if any of you guys are struggling. I don't know do you know who Kim Gorski is? Did you see her post the other day?
I don't know if all the team knows who she is just yet, but
am I able to share screen here?
I hope so.
Let me see if I can find it here.
Okay.
There's just a couple things I was looking at, and in fact, I shared with my team today on my Team Cup team on our Zoom, because some of them are a little nervous about, just posting and stuff. But I thought this was so cute, just to give y'all some ideas. Let me move this down here. Can y'all see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, this is Kim. She is a doll. She's on Team Rockstar Fit. She's Vito's assistant. She fell into that. But she did this amazing post yesterday. This is it. Can you guys see that? She wanted her husband to do size. Now, I don't know if this really was a thing or she was just doing a great post, but she did this post and like, if I can get 500 likes, he's going to do size with me. So I just thought it was so cute, this picture. And he looks like, seriously, please, like my husband always looks in pictures. And I just thought this was so cute. And I actually shared it on my page because I just wanted to help her out. She ended up getting, look at this, over 550 likes. So he has to do size. So here you go. What's great about this, adorable, right? She's so cute. And she also has a Beachbody program in her hand, but she's not like, buy my stuff, buy my stuff. She's like, I want my husband to do this. And it's so cute. And you look at him and go, oh my God, I'll click like on that. So that's sort of a way to drip it out there. Like she does this home fitness program. You've probably heard it on, or seen an infomercial or something, these people that are not in Beachbody. And that's just cute. It's just super cute. I thought that was a great post. So something like that, and she does really good ones. Like, and all those things I didn't say. She did a little video there. But just, kind of like dripping that stuff out. Let me show you this one too. I was kind of looking at some that were really good. And of course I stalk Melanie Mitro, but she does like this one, just a picture of her working out. She put the filter on it, black and white, put words on it. And she's just talking about don't sell yourself short. So she probably read something that morning and she's just sharing her personal development. But it draws you in because that's a great picture, right? So you can play around with that kind of stuff. And She did another kind of lifestyle. This one I thought was so good because it's a picture of, it says Beachbody here, but it's not screaming, I'm a Beachbody coach, even though most people who follow her know she is. But there's her shake, but it's, you know, it's not her kissing her shake or anything like that. It's just a great picture of her in her backyard. And she just talks about, you know, this isn't just a picture of Shakeology, my to-do list. It's a lifestyle. It's kind of what we were talking about. It's a lifestyle picture. And it draws you in because you're like, oh, that looks great, you know? So it's those kind of things that you can craft and put out there, drip it out there. So people are seeing that, like, it's a lifestyle thing. She obviously can just work from home from her backyard, you know, and she's got just her shake. So that makes you curious. Well, I wonder what she drinks, you know, things like that. There's somebody on our team. Do you guys know Tracy Granada? She does a great job. Great banner here, just in her little boy. She's my success partner, so I think she's awesome. But she does these great posts. There's her and her husband working out, healthy parents, happy parents. This I thought was a really good post. It's long, but she's able to do that because she's been putting this stuff out there. But it just talks about her time at Summit, and you know, everyone matters, the whole theme of Summit. And it's just a picture of, you know, she did a collage. This was our super workout, and then a team picture. And it draws you in, and you want to know what she's doing, you know. And then she has other pictures of just her and her little boy. So that's what I mean by find someone that resonates with you, and, you know, just kind of follow. And look how cute that is, you know. So you just know she's a busy mom. I mean, that's the kind of thing, it's so easy to share that. I think it's, you know, just make it fit you, but be a little bold with it, because you're really you're going to help people. And if you get a picture together, like I said, I'll say it again, you get a picture together and you're like, this freaks me out, I'm actually going to share this. Do it. If you have that feeling, you know that's going to be a good post, and you're going to have many more, but you know that's a good one that's going to hit home with somebody. So I hope that helps you. Does anybody have any other questions? I know we're getting close to an hour. Everybody good?
Good, guys. Thank you so much, Sharon. This was super helpful, and I'm sure the team found it super helpful as well. Like I said, they're all going to be digging into those apps. I feel like we're going to have like the most creative picture contest happening on our team page or something.
It's so fun, I'm telling you. So, and the cool thing is you can repurpose that content too. So if you did a video, you know, you put that on your Facebook page, you can also put that on Instagram. You can change the filter. You can move that picture and put it on your like page. You can put it on your blog, you know, all kinds of things. So you can always repurpose that content and bring it, like I said, dig it back up a month, 2 months from now, and change the filter on it, change the wording on it. You got another picture. So it works really well. Well, I really appreciate you guys having me on the call. As you can see, I could talk about this stuff forever. I love this business. And if I can ever help any of you, please reach out. I love to help coaches who want to take this business and run. That's why I love Rock the Basics. And we have a Diamond Dash that Tracy and I are doing. And it's fun. It's, you know, it's the thing. The one piece of advice I have for you is don't ever quit. You're going to have these ups and downs. You're going to have days where you're like, why am I doing this? Huge piece of advice. If your spouse is like, are you still on your phone? Like, do you ever get off your phone? Really set your business hours, shut it down, be with your kids, because you want this business to fit in your life. Okay. Not your life into this business. You really have to control those things. And if you're getting that kind of feedback, then maybe you need to just set some more boundaries with it, because it's so easy to get in that ping pong message back with people. And then, you know, it's all of a sudden it's 10 o'clock at night, your husband fell asleep, your kids are in bed, and you're like, oh my God, I missed everything, you know? So don't do that. Don't do that, because you got to be in this for the long haul, and it has to fit in your life. So that's my best advice.
Perfect advice.
Appreciate it. Good.
Thank you so very much, Sharon, taking some time out and sharing with the team.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. This is fun. And message me if I can help you in any way.
Will do. Have a great night and safe trip tomorrow to San Francisco. Good luck to your daughter.
Thank you. I know it's fun.